We are live. It's UFC 264. Poirier versus McGregor 3. These are the live predictions and the betting tips for the full card. Lots of fun fights to talk about. Watch the countdown show today. That was a good show and, definitely showed some things about the top fighters. Interesting. McGregor wasn't really too involved in it. We got a really good card ahead. I want to talk about all the fights. I want to give you guys some potential bets to play. So we got a lot of action. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Need at least 125 likes on this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We cover all things MMA, UFC, Bellator, PFL. We got a wide array of shows, and we got the best bets video coming out. You'll see it posted up either tomorrow night. I'll be doing it, depending if I'm around. I do have some relatives in town that I'm seeing one last time. If not, then Wednesday at the latest for the UFC best bets video. But we're doing the live predictions right now. And we're going to talk about the bets available now. Lots of good things coming. Smash the likes. 125 likes are needed. And let's get into the first fight of the night. First thing, though, let me shout out everybody in the live chat. I appreciate everyone being here. Czar, Adam Dubois. We got our man Bruce the Goat in the house. Taj Bali. And, we got more. We got more coming in. Pay-per-view, Dizzle. I appreciate all you guys for being here, and I do apologize for being a couple minutes late if you're watching live. I was driving home, but I'm here now, so let's get into it. First fight to start it off early on in the night. Alen Amedovski versus Yaozong. We talked about this fight earlier in the week, and thoughts really haven't significantly changed. Alen Amedovski is the more technical striker, and I do think he has more punching power, more professional experience, was a more high-rated prospect coming into the UFC. On the other side, who was decent with the striking, but he was on performance-enhancing drugs the last time he fought in the UFC, and he tested positive, and he didn't look great then. I think he's going to lose here. I definitely feel like Amedovski can potentially get the knockout win here, kind of like any man's game if Amedovski is off his game. Because Yaozong definitely is not a bad fighter, and he does have a size advantage, but I got to ride Amedovski. I think he could get a late KO win around the third. Maybe it goes the decision, but Amedovski should win the fight. Granted, neither are the most amazing bets, just simply because long layoffs, and now who knows how they're really going to look when that fight starts. That's going to be something when we see them at the weigh-ins. It's going to be interesting to see how they look, especially with Yaozong dropping a weight class to 185. Amedovski like the minus 150 favorite, around the plus 125 dog for Yaozong. We'll check out what bets are available prop-wise here. Over 1.5 I do think is likely, though this fight is just not. This is probably, if you're going to bet the card, this is probably not the fight to bet on. So my opinion here, skip the bet unless you really want to play. I like the over 1.5 or even Amedovski to win straight at minus 150 there. So that will be my take for this fight, but not super prop heavy with my recommendations. And I will be checking up on the live chat. I'm going to attempt to do it every 3 or 4 fights. So if you're watching live, I do appreciate you. If you're tuned in on replay, more incentive to watch live because we will do some live chat interaction. Zhumagulov versus Jerome Rivera. Rivera is really not super UFC caliber. As we've talked about, Zhumagulov on one side. I feel like the wrestling can be a factor, along with his striking. Punching-wise, yeah, he's at a disadvantage of range by a bit. And I will say, kickboxing with Jerome Rivera, I'm not going to say is going to be super risky for Zhumagulov. He takes a good strike, and he's been in there with superior fighters by a wide margin. I still believe he's going to win the fight, probably standing up, but using his wrestling. Could also see him wrestle the hell out of Jerome for 3 rounds and get a unanimous decision, but I'm going to lean towards knockout here. Probably second round for this fight, and I do think could potentially be on the ground too. But I think Rivera will open up with strikes, and I do think Zhumagulov will take advantage, getting him to the floor a few times, and then that threat will probably make him a bit more hesitant. He'll be worried about the takedown, and then potentially a knockout punch. So I ride Zhumagulov in this flyweight matchup. I think this is pretty much a lock as far as the fight goes. It really should be. I don't think Zhumagulov should lose this fight. I think it's a low percentage he does. As far as the bets for this fight, over 1.5, minus 410. Little pricey. Could definitely go the distance. That's minus 200. It's expected to. Zhumagulov by KO plus 500. It's a big bet, but also a big risk. Zhumagulov by sub plus 850. I do think he could get inside the distance. So, maybe you want to sprinkle Zhumagulov inside the distance if you can find it around the plus 317-ish price tag. But yeah, I'll ride Zhumagulov inside the distance here. I do think he gets the win over Jerome Rivera, even though Rivera is a pretty lanky guy. He's just not UFC level. Let's keep on moving. Omari, Akhmedov, and Brad Tavares. Okay, so this fight here, realistically, clash of styles. Brad Tavares is more of a well-rounded striker, where on the other side, Omari Akhmedov is a beast of a wrestler, good top control. And I mean, he swings pretty wildly. He's got power in his hooks for sure, though not known for the power in his punches. Slight dog. Does he have potential to win? I will say there is a chance he beats Brad Tavares here if he can get Brad to the ground, if he can put him against the cage and Brad can't get out of there. I do think Brad Tavares has the skill set to fend off Omari Akhmedov's game. Omari is good, and he's a Dagestani fighter, but he's not near the levels of wrestling as you see with Khabib Nurmagomedov or these other scary Dagestanis on the rise like Islam Makhachev. I think that Omari's going to lose this fight. 33 years of age, as is Brad Tavares. The striking will make the difference. I'm picking Brad by a decision in this matchup. I think he fends off the takedowns, but I won't say that Omari is impossible as an underdog. And if you're looking to play dogs, maybe that's something you're interested in, not even necessarily betting who you're predicting, but who you think might have potential upside for upset. Around the minus 175, minus 150 for Brad. You can find Akhmedov up to plus 142, but more so around that plus 130-ish range here. I do like fight goes the distance here. See what that is sitting at. Fight goes the distance, minus 200. Not a great bet with light heavyweights, because definitely power punches could potentially land on either side. There could be a stoppage. I like Tavares to win. Maybe you want to bet him. Personally, not loving the bet on him, but the value's not bad. So if you are going to bet him, he's not a terrible play straight. If you want to maybe parlay Brad Tavares' decision, but does he have the power to stop the fight? For sure. Granted, not a supreme finisher, at least as of late. But we'll ride Brad Tavares to win here. And I'll also be checking up on the live chat and see what you guys are talking about in the comments here. All right. I'm a bit behind over here, but we'll see where we're at. Parlay all your bets with Islam and O'Malley. Zalgas. You got Tavares will win. Godlike takedown defense, and I'm out of cardio as bad as a 29-28 Tavares. I like a 29-28 Tavares. I think that's probably what's going to happen. Oh, they are middleweights. Excuse me. Middleweight division matchup, not light heavyweight. That was a misplay on my part. Yeah, he did lose to decision by Figueiredo. You think the Zalgas doesn't get a finish punch or decision? Definitely possible decision win. Yeah, make sure you guys smash the like button. You tune in. You need locks. We'll talk about some locks towards the end. Birds got put down by a jab twice. The Usman power that he has. Yeah, the power of Usman is good, but I will say Gilbert Burns went ham in that first round. Wonder Boy, nothing better than McGregor fight week. It's a special week with McGregor. Bets of the bets, best of the bets. Undeserving UFC fighter. Zaruk Adeshev, at least he's got a good kickboxing background. Middleweight is a wild division. It is a wild division, but it's an exciting division. I'm looking back at some of the older chat here. I have to see what was going on before I tuned in. Oh, shout out to also Hype MMA and Bernardo Flores. I didn't shout you out earlier. But, yo, we're going to get to some more of it. You know, I'll be checking up on the live chat, so feel free to say anything. I should be decently caught up now, so if you're asking me questions at this point, I probably won't miss any. But I do want to get back to the predictions. So we'll talk about a couple more fights, probably 3, so a few more, and then we'll get back up to the live chat. Jennifer Maia, Jessica I feel like Maia does it better everywhere. Striking, grappling, boxing skill set. I mean, Jennifer Maia is a nasty boxer, and Jessica I's a girl who's known for her boxing in this flyweight division. Not at the same level, I don't feel, as Jennifer Maia. The grappling game is a significant difference. I do think Maia is going to do work on the feet, which will probably cause this fight to somehow end up on the ground. And if it does, I do think Jennifer Maia locks up a submission. I will predict second round submission for Jennifer Maia over Jessica I. Look at the odds side of things. Minus 200 for Maia, plus 160 for I. I like Maia to win. I do think it's going potentially to the second round. I think good likelihood of it, to be honest, and could also be a Maia decision victory. I do like Maia to win by a submission, though, because the value at plus 600 is, I mean, if you can find that, that's extremely good. Not like Jessica Ai's an easy girl to finish, though, and she's gone the distance a fair amount throughout her career. Could definitely happen, but Maia by decision plus with 115 wouldn't be the prop. Sprinkle the Maia win by submission. A little early best bet for you guys. I think that's the one to potentially play. We're riding Maia for the win, and she should beat the plus 160 dog Jessica Ai in this fight. Let's keep on moving up. Got more fights to talk about. We got Dricus du Plessis versus Trevin Giles. So this pick, it's now going the way of Giles. Early predictions, I was leaning Dricus. More film study. I got to ride Giles. I actually think Giles stylistically matches up decently. I think he will find a way inside. He'll find a way to land good strikes, potentially clinch up against the cage. And I mean, Dricus looks good. He's got that solid, like, high guard kickboxing style, was chopping the low kicks. He does have knockout power. That was in his last fight against Marcus Perez. But here, I think Trevin Giles' athleticism and speed are the difference maker. I'm going to ride Giles, and I think he overwhelms Dricus. I'm going decision win for Dricus du Plessis. Or excuse me, for Trevin Giles over Dricus du Plessis. I just had to say the cool name multiple times. I'll ride Giles, but as far as like betting on this fight, I don't think it's an amazing bet. Odds near pick 'em. Maybe you want to play Giles to win this fight, maybe at the plus 100, or you say, hey, I want to do a potential prop bet. You want to do Giles by a decision, plus 210. It's not terrible. So maybe that's a play there. I'm really going to be up to you, but I'll ride Trevin Giles for the win, which should be an exciting fight. And the next one, my goodness, it gets me excited. Ryan Hall, Ilia Topuria. This is really like a great grappling matchup, but Ilia Topuria also is nasty with his boxing. He hits with good amount of power. Knockout win the last fight. He's won fights by knockout outside of the UFC, but also is dangerous. He's potentially a wizard on the ground, as is Ryan Hall. The thing with Hall is submission game is super diverse, super nasty. Heel hooks from everywhere, super awkward style, strange kicks. Topuria, good boxing skill set, good Greco-Roman wrestling background, high-level jiu-jitsu game as well. I think he's the perfect anti-style for Ryan Hall, so I'm picking Ilia Topuria by second-round knockout to beat Ryan Hall in this fight. As far as odds, Topuria, minus 250, minus 225. Hall, around the plus 200 or less range, plus 180-ish. I'll be 100% honest. He's a young kid, so to have him as this strong of a favorite, I mean, definitely the bookies are looking to attract attention on his name as a potential lock. I do think he really should win, but Ryan Hall is very dangerous with his submission game, and that cannot be overlooked. We have to acknowledge it, but I'm still picking Topuria to win by knockout, plus 185 prop bet. I can't guarantee you it's going to cash. I think Topuria wins the fight. As far as finish, we could end up looking at a fight that turns out to be fairly competitive and strange for moments here. But I'll ride with the younger and the superior wrestler. As far as straight jiu-jitsu goes, Ryan Hall is a tricky man to deal with. If somehow Topuria won by submission, what are the odds of that? That would be crazy. What are the odds of that? Topuria submission plus 550, Hall submission plus 375. Plus 550, that would be pretty crazy, but I think he more gets the knockout here. So I'll ride knockout Topuria. Let's keep on moving up. We'll talk about this next fight. Niko Price and Michel Pereira. Good matchup. Very good matchup. Stylistic dream fight, I think, for Pereira. He's going to get a guy that's going to look to engage him as he counters. I think Niko Price is going to look to make it a dog fight. Michel Pereira is not an easy guy to deal with. He's very versatile with his striking attack. He's a little bit crazy at times. But this is a dream matchup for him. I actually think this is the fight that's going to skyrocket him. I think he gets the knockout. I think he will find a way. I think Price is going to come to fight and really put it on Pereira because he knows. I mean, you can make a name off yourself if you go out there and beat Michel Pereira, especially if it's convincingly. He's a pretty dangerous striker. I think knockout win, Michel Pereira. He'll probably make Niko miss somehow, and I think he lands a beautiful counter. We've seen Niko knocked out a few times before. And I think Michel Pereira has this stylistic skill set where he really could hurt Niko Price. I'm going knockout win for Michel. As far as the bet on that fight, Pereira sitting around minus 155 to plus 130, plus 140 range. Pereira to win by a knockout, plus 275. Not a terrible value there. Could definitely go the distance. We've seen Pereira go the distance against good strikers before, like the Chaos Williams fight. That would be plus 275. Maybe Pereira straight at minus 155, but I do think TKO play maybe has some value. I wish the line was, you know what, at 275, I'll say that it's potentially worth a sprinkle. So potential value bet here at plus 275 for Pereira to win by a KO against Niko Price. Now, let me check up on that live chat. I think we went 4 fights this time instead of 3, but I'm gonna catch up as best I can here. All right. Let's see. The embedded vlog was dope today. I haven't watched it yet. I gotta watch the embedded vlog. That's coming up. You think Topuria is a lock? I think he really should win. Maia submission. I'm picking it. I isn't at her peak anymore. She's definitely gone downhill. Yeah, no, Maia looked really good against Shevchenko, which just gives me more confidence in her. And also, guys, if you haven't yet, smash that like button. As I said, I need 125 likes on this video, this UFC 264 live McGregor, Poirier 3 predictions and betting tips. If you guys are new, subscribe to the channel too, covering all things MMA over here and give you guys some betting tips as well. Don't you think price on Irene Aldana is too good to be true? You got our -125. Yeah, that's good value. We'll talk about that Aldana fight pretty soon. We're coming up on it. Jennifer Maia all day. Yeah, I think she's going to dominate. I got murdered. She did get killed. Nick Diaz versus who? Let's do Nick Diaz Masvidal. That's the fight that I like. Giles decision. That's your guy. I'm going with decision Giles too. You think Giles by KO? You think Dricus is really wild and Giles has got good power? That definitely could happen. Definitely could happen. Giles decision. Yo, hype MMA. I forgot to shout you out at the beginning, man, but I got you with the shout out now. Niko versus Michel is going to be insane. That could truly be the fight of the night. I think that fight's going to be crazy. Ryan Hall heel hook 3rd round. I mean, with Ryan Hall, it's possible, but I'm riding Topuria. Ilia KO round 2, okay? Hall and Thompson boys. Thompson's a savage. Topuria's a lock. 1st round KO, you think? Maybe. Hall by double heel hook. That might be it. Hall hasn't been in there since 2019, yeah, but he's done jiu-jitsu a very long time, and that's his game. So on the ground, he's dangerous. I'm not thinking Hall's coming in slacking. I think Hall's just gonna get beat. Topuria should be a lock. I would say should win. Topuria beat Artem the Goat, though. You are right. He did beat the greatest fighter of all time. So potentially, he's the best fighter of all time. Gilbert burns his money this weekend, you think? We'll talk about that fight soon. You guys got someone got Wonder Boy. Pereira is very disciplined. You think he gets it done? Yeah, I think so too. Yo, shout out to Hype MMA for the donation to the channel, man. I appreciate you, my guy. Good day, my guy, to you as well. Great man, and I do appreciate that. Maia gives you Spencer vibes. I think she's definitely a lot better striker. She has a good boxing background. Malinaji came close. Malinaji, though, he did terrible in bare knuckle. Felicia Spencer killed woman MMA betting. She did. That was disappointing. All right, guys, I got to get back to the predictions. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. So yeah, definitely incentive to join these live predictions. We'll chat it up in the live chat between every like 3 or 4 fights or so, and then I'll get back to it. If you're watching on replay and you're not interested, I definitely got the timestamps for you guys somewhere in there within 2-3 hours of the video at latest, maybe within 30 minutes if I'm really on it, which I will attempt to do. But let's keep on moving up. We got to talk about the featured prelims, and then we're going to move up to the main card. We have featured prelim bout, which could be on a pay-per-view. It's Max Griffin, Carlos Condit. The natural-born killer is back. I love watching Carlos Condit fights. Beautiful technique, smooth, like Thai-style kickboxing. On the other side, Max Griffin really moves fast side to side, does have some underrated KO power. But I feel like Carlos Condit technically superior. Max Griffin's not a young guy. He's almost 36. I feel like Carlos Condit still has the skill set where he could beat a guy like Max Griffin, even though he's the favorite. So especially with the value of the dog play, taller guy, I feel like Max Griffin is not going to have an easy time out wrestling Carlos Condit, especially because Condit in the last fight against Matt Brown had some good moments with his grappling. I think he's really been working his game. I think he's still at a point where he can compete with these back-end guys at welterweight. I'm going Carlos Condit win against Max Griffin. I do believe it will probably be unanimous decision, but upset for Carlos Condit. Superior striker, and I think he's capable enough on the ground, especially at the plus money. So let's check out this plus money here for Carlos. You can find him at a plus 165 dog around there, a little bit less at some of the other sites. Max Griffin around the minus 175 to minus 200 favorite. I like Condit, the plus money dog here. It's a good play at plus 165, potentially straight. If you want to risk it with the parlays, which maybe you do, Condit to win the fight by a decision is sitting around plus 275, plus 290. There could be money made there, but what if he ends up getting the knockout and then you're regretting it? Because he does have the ability. It's just been a long time since we've seen the knockout, but it doesn't mean he can't do it here. I still think we'll see a victory, though, for Carlos Condit. I will ride him for the win, and I do think potential dog play bet if you are looking for one. But let's keep on moving up the card, and it's the main card. So if you haven't yet, smash that like button. Main card, Sean O'Malley versus Kris Moutinho. Kris Moutinho, huge underdog. He's been knocked out before. He's like more like Bellator level, like towards the back end of their bantamweight division. The guy he lost to is actually a Bellator guy. Gotta check the name again. I think it's Campbell. Johnny Campbell. Yeah, Johnny Campbell. I've seen him fight in Bellator. He got a nice win. But still is not the upper echelon of the UFC bantamweight division. Like Sean O'Malley, even if some people really hate to admit it, I mean, he still is at the least, top 20 material at this point from what we've seen. I think he's definitely going to get the win here. Stylistically, dream matchup. Striking-wise, Kris is a southpaw, and Sean O'Malley's good in both stances. I think he'll find a way to land the straight shots, potentially viral KO. I am riding Sean O'Malley to win this fight, and I do think it'll be impressive. He should set up some openings with the feints that he does extremely well. So we'll ride Sean O'Malley, KO win. I'm picking first round. Should smoke Kris Moutinho here. Can you imagine if he somehow got the upset, though? Don't think it's likely, but what if? Minus 950, minus 800. Sean O'Malley is a huge favorite. Sean O'Malley to win by a KO, sitting at minus 275. It's highly expected that he does. Moutinho to win by a submission, plus 1600. Moutinho to win by a KO, plus 850. Why is it plus 8? I guess plus 5. Yeah, plus 600. I guess statistically, yeah, that makes sense. Can you imagine he somehow submits Sean O'Malley at plus 1600 money? That would be insane. I don't think it's likely at all. I think it's low percentage, like extremely like low, like below probably 1% type percentage. I'm picking Sean O'Malley by KO first round, but who knows, right? With these dog picks, maybe you pick something crazy. Moutinho ended up getting a win, and you secured yourself some nice cash. Plus 850 inside the distance play. If you need a dog play, a Hail Mary dog play, I'm throwing that one early at you guys on Kris Moutinho, but I'm riding Sean O'Malley KO first round, and it should not be close. As far as betting wise, if you got big money and you want to bet him straight, God bless, or maybe you want to parlay him up. I think that he's going to beat Kris Moutinho, though. Definitely knockout, but don't love prop betting on that wide of a scale with minus 275. I just think the value is too low, and in the long term, not good for profits. But let's keep on moving. Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. Yana Kunitskaya, Irene Aldana is a fun fight. I like both these girls at bantamweight, but let's be honest, they're not going to be probably in the title picture. They're like right below that title picture. Granted, if Aldana wins and then Amanda Nunes clears out the division beating Pena now, and then who's she going to fight next? Deronda May a third time? I don't think so. Is she going to fight Holm a second time? Maybe. And somehow Aldana, if she puts together this win and one other, could be next in line. So who knows? Irene Aldana might find herself a title shot sometime. So she needs to win here, and I do think she's going to get the win here. I like her boxing skill set against more the Thai-style striker. So we're riding with Irene Aldana, and it should be a fairly good performance here. I think outboxing her, out-clinching her, not going to guarantee chaos here, but could happen. We've seen Aldana with knockout wins in the past, but I'll ride her to win a decision over Yana Kunitskaya. Close money, especially in a matchup where I feel like Kunitskaya is outclassed here. She should be, striking-wise and even clinch-wise. So Aldana, I think, should get a pretty dominant win. The Vieira fight probably boosted her stock with the bookies because Yana Kunitskaya did beat Ketlin Vieira, but it was a controversial decision. Irene Aldana knocked Ketlin Vieira in the first round. Not saying MMA math works, but I'm just saying controversial decision win in the last fight against a hot contender is the reason you're seeing the money as close as it is. I think Aldana should get a clear victory here. Should be a good to-go bet, but it is women's MMA, and shit hits the fan with women's MMA like nothing else. Aldana by decision, plus 175. That's really going to be up to you if you want to play the high-risk game of women's MMA. If I had to give you a bet, Aldana decision, plus 175, or straight if you can get her around minus 120 or less. But I'll ride her definitely to win the fight. Maybe have a parlay with her, but dangerous game in women's MMA still. Matchup that should go her way. Let me check up on that live chat before we get to our featured bout of the night here. Let's see. You got Carlos Condit by decision. Khamzat ducks. I mean, wow, why wouldn't he duck Luke Rockhold? He doesn't need to fight Luke Rockhold yet. Luke Rockhold's a scary matchup, man. I see why he ducked it. Khamzat, Jim called duck MMA. Condit decision, I like it. Max is dangerous, I agree. Carlos by sub. Carlos spinning back elbow KO. Can you imagine he gets one of those? Ooh, that would be crazy. That Brahamish fight. Yeah. I think Carlos Khan's going to win. Max might win, but Condit has better value. I don't know, man. Max might be on something. He destroyed Ramiz and KO'd. Yeah, I know. His power looks insane as of late. I will agree. But Condit hasn't been getting knocked out. He usually gets beat on the ground in certain matchups. So for me, what's giving me the hope is him winning this fight. I mean, him doing it with a technical striking display and Max not being able to out-wrestle him. Yeah, he's in good shape. He is slowed down. I agree. Condit is nowhere near close to what he used to be, but he's on a 2-fight streak. Yeah. Real talk, Dominic. OMG, this fight, no value. Eddie's wife's scream has to be your worst nightmare. Fight goes the distance. O'Malley first round TKO. Yeah, I think so. Give O'Malley Vera again. Could happen. Is it going to happen next? I don't know about that. Moutinho spinning head kick KO round 1. That would be pretty crazy, Mason. Moutinho shocks the world. That would be insane. But I think unlikely, man. Shaw will get cocky and KO'd. Hey, maybe you want to bet that knockout play, then you're going to get crazy plus money. The inside the distance plus 850. I'm not sure. I'm not a my fan, but he will perform. Yeah, he should win. Upsets always happen on the McGregor card. Yeah, and I think McGregor at the top, that'll be an interesting one as well. Crazy odds. O'Malley has to knock this guy out in spectacular fashion. If he wins by decision, will hurt his hype as much as the lost Cheeto. I don't know if you can hurt the O'Malley train all that much with as long as he wins and he doesn't look bad. If he's dominant enough, he'll be all right. He's a popular guy online. Remember Antonina Shevchenko? Think about it. Think about what with Antonina? Fight the guru. Yeah, it's going to be warfare, bro. So if they pay us the good money, we'll do it. We've said it before, man. If me and Guru can make a killing on it, we'll make it happen. But we're not going to do it for free, man. We're doing big things behind the camera as well. Sean by sub has value for sure, but KO way more likely. I don't think he's a sub guy, man. I think knockout. That would be insane if he did get a sub. O'Malley minus 275 KO. I wouldn't play it. Habib, Duck, Prime, Tony. Both of them scared of my man Tony. I don't know about that, buddy. Yana for a decision. I don't know. I don't think she's got it. I think O'Malley KO will happen. Moutinho striking defense is the best, and Sean's the advantage, reach, and size. Yeah, he definitely has big advantage in this fight, and he's also a lot slicker with the striking. Yana Kunitsuka decision. O'Malley versus Sunsao after. O'Malley KO plus Tavares. Akhmedov goes distance. Yeah, I think that's a solid play if you're going to be parlaying. Aldana decision. Yana is a good fighter, but the last fight was a robbery and a boring fight. Yeah, I think so too. Forgot Kevin Lee was injured. He's off. He's been off for a while. That would be a sick 5-round co-main event. We should have done it for the Burns Wonderboy fight. Brady was going to destroy Lee. I think he was going to beat him for sure. Lee can be champ at 155. I don't know. I think Lee's past it, man. I don't think he's going to be champ. Lee always gets a sub, though. Gets subbed, I think you mean. Dustin Poirier, TKO. But RDA and Charles are dangerous on the ground. And Tony, yeah. I mean, those guys are all nasty with their jiu-jitsu. Charles right now is champ. Brady would have smoked him probably. Yeah, I think I'll agree. I think Sean Brady would have beat Kevin Lee. But let's get back to the predictions. Appreciate everybody tuning in live. Smash the like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel covering all things MMA over here at MMA Experts. And we're doing the prediction show for this full card. We're talking about the featured bout of the night now. So now it's time to talk about some heavy action. Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy. As far as entertainment value goes, I'm expecting a very fun fight to watch. Tai Tuivasa, stylistically, the more I watch of both, I just think he matches up well. He's a durable guy, good striking skill set with nasty leg kicks. Yes, Greg Hardy hits like a truck, but Tai Tuivasa has a chin on him. You look at his career, he took 3 straight losses. Junior Dos Santos knocked him out on a counter strike. He takes good punches. Junior Dos Santos sets up his strikes way more precisely than Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy is trying to knock you out. He's going to come at you hard. I feel like that's something that we can see dealt with by Tai. You look at Blagoy Ivanov, loses a decision. Not a bad loss. Sergey Spivak submits him. We're not getting a submission out of Greg Hardy. The 2 wins as of recent. Stefan Struve. Granted, Struve doesn't take a big punch. Harry Hunsucker was kind of a similar situation. But Tai Tuivasa's hands have looked good in both those fights. I think he's coming back with a vengeance here. I think he wins this fight. I pick him 3rd round KO. If you survive Hardy's like 1st round and a quarter, round and a half, especially a guy like Tai Tuivasa, he's going to win the fight. Tai Tuivasa, third round knockout. Maybe he even gets this fight to the ground and pounds out Greg Hardy there late. But I do think Tai can do some work on the feet as well, especially with those nasty low kicks. The way that he fights with leg kicks are definitely going to be something that he mixes in to the arsenal with his overhands and his looping shots. Tai Tuivasa, he wins the fight by a TKO in the third. All right, let's keep looking here. Tai Tuivasa, like a minus 140, minus 130. Not bad. Greg Hardy, plus 115-ish, plus 110. I don't like a Hardy bet unless it is Hardy by a KO. Hardy inside the distance is out now. We'll talk about, I will get the whole spreadsheet of everything, especially on that Best Bets video. I will find a place that props it up. But on Best Fight Odds, we don't have it right now. But this fight, Greg Hardy, Tai Tuivasa, I think Tai to win the fight by a KO third round. Do I want to go and bet inside the distance? Tai's not terrible value straight to bet him Tuivasa inside the distance plus 160. Yeah, it's a good amount plus money, but the risk, I don't really know if it's worth the reward here. So I'll just ride Tuivasa straight and not take too much of a risk. Maybe he ends up winning a decision. Maybe he ends up, I don't think losing though. I don't know. At the plus, I don't know. I think that Tai Tuivasa should be a good to-go play and really should win this fight, but it's heavyweight, right? So we have to acknowledge the power, especially with Hardy's style. I wish the prop was out, but let's say the prop of Hardy by KO is like plus 300, plus 400. Okay, maybe you do want to bet Hardy down. But as of right now, I think Tai Tuivasa straight or potentially an inside the distance play on Tai. I think third round knockout. If you want to Mystic Mac it and you're allowed to do it there, maybe you can get some huge value at third round TKO. Co-main event, Gilbert Drochinho Burns versus Wonder Boy Thompson. Man, I watched the countdown show for these guys, and I will say I definitely got to admire both. I am a fan of both these guys. I want the best for both. Family men. Very good martial artists, high level skill sets on both. Gilbert Burns a little bit more wild with his boxing. Obviously, Wonder Boy is a technical masterpiece. He's only been knocked out once, and that was against Anthony Pettis off the wildest off the cage Superman punch because Anthony Pettis for some reason just gets crazy wins. Wonder Boy Thompson controls range at such an elite level. He's been in there for a very long time and he sees everything. I'm picking Wonder Boy. He wins this fight. I think he could get the KO, but I'm really starting to lean decision. I definitely want to see them face off. I think Wonder Boy does win the fight. But if you are a betting man and you want to throw something at Gilbert Burns, I would not be opposed at all. And I think it is possible. Plus 525 Burns KO. That's another one. It's one of the steal bets. The value is too high not to talk about how good this bet is. Burns can knock out Wonder Boy if he touches his chin. Anthony Pettis has done it. Yes. Out of all his fights, tons. He was 57-0 as a kickboxer, only knocked out against Pettis. I will acknowledge that, but he was also dropped against Woodley. And let's remember this, he is older now than any of his previous fights. He's taken shots in the past. Could potentially get knocked out by a guy with the power that Burns brings to the table because it is very intense. Kamaru Usman is a steel-chinned fighter, and that helps him be so good is how durable he is. I'm riding Wonder Boy. Decision potentially or late TKO. But Gilbert Burns at plus 525 is something you sprinkle down because the money that's coming back at you, very good. So maybe you play a couple of these Hail Mary sprinkles. I do think of cash. You want to throw $10 at it or something. Or maybe you want to go crazy. You have more to throw at it and you throw more at it. But I think Burns KO win has value as far as props go. But I like Wonder Boy to win this fight straight as far as that bet does go. But it's a dangerous fight and maybe one you just want to sprinkle the props on. The main event of the evening. It is time to talk about it. Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor 3. This is the trilogy fight. Legendary trilogy. I remember watching the countdown show for the first fight, like as it was all happening years ago. And, he took Conor talking about how Dustin, he's on his way down. And honestly, I followed Dustin. He hadn't looked, that great at that point. He's had some bad downfalls after good moments, beating Josh Grisby in his debut when Grisby was supposed to fight for the world title against Jose Aldo. Dustin Poirier has had very good moments. Unfortunately, Conor McGregor slept him badly. He realized the weight cut was too much, moves up a weight class, and finds immediate success. A couple bumps in the road, but been a pretty damn good lightweight. Dustin Poirier, interim championship, beat Justin Gaethje, beat Eddie Alvarez. I mean, there's a lot to like. I mean, he beat Dan Hooker too. Granted, Dan Hooker then got knocked out badly against Chandler. I don't really think that eliminates the stock of him beating Dan Hooker, who's a very skilled striker. Conor McGregor, he sleeps him. That's the best moment of Dustin's career. And stylistically speaking, hands for hands, southpaw versus southpaw, I think that does allow for Dustin Poirier to find success boxing. But if you look back in the first fight, a lot of straight shots were landing for McGregor. But the leg kick, they found the weakness. McGregor had been doing how much boxing? A ton. He was fully focused in on boxing for a very long time. He wanted to box Pacquiao. If he's not focused in on one sport, he looks one-dimensional. He looked more like a boxing-style fighter. But you go back to the first fight, he looked like the Kung Fu Kid. His style was a lot more dynamic back then. I believe he's going to bring back more of that dynamic style. I don't think he's thinking about boxing. I think he's thinking about beating Dustin Poirier. And on the game, McGregor, I still believe, can beat Poirier because he hurt him in that first fight. Granted, the leg kicks. Yes, Dustin Poirier won the fight and looked fantastic. And his boxing skills are very good, too. He's more sloppy and he is more hittable than Conor by a fair amount. I think that if Conor checks the leg kick, he finds a way to win. Second round knockout victory, Conor McGregor. He's going to beat Dustin Poirier and set off a crazy McGregor effect once again. I can't wait to see this fight and talk about what's next. As far as bets on this one, maybe one you want to sit out or maybe one you want to play. I'm riding the dog, Conor McGregor. If you get him at the plus money, maybe play something on him. Will also add intensity to the fight. And there's nothing wrong with added intensity to watching these fights here because they're going to be very fun. As far as props, I don't want to stir you wrong. I think this fight definitely does not go the distance. So if you want more of a lock prop, it would be that one. But the bookies know this. So the odds right now, especially later on in the week here, minus 400, minus 350, minus 200. It's really not later on in the week, actually. So the odds haven't moved as bad as they will by Friday night. These odds are going to be probably more so towards fight doesn't go the distance, maybe past the 500 mark. So now it would be time to bet under 3.5, minus 225. I don't think it's going 3.5. Under 2.5, minus 150. Maybe you want to play that. Maybe if you're, really don't want to bet who's going to win the fight. McGregor by a KO plus 175. Poirier by a KO plus 195. McGregor submission, very unlikely, plus 2,600. That's crazy value. Imagine he gets a rear naked choke somehow, but Dustin's nasty on the ground. McGregor inside the distance, plus 170. I'll ride the McGregor plus 175 KO prop. If you like Poirier, you could play it at plus 195. That's a great one as well. It's like kind of a value bet, though, too, because Poirier knocked him out in the last fight. To be plus 195 is interesting. I think McGregor gets the KO, though, and I do think it's in the second round. I think he's going to beat Poirier in the trilogy. Poirier definitely has a fighting shot. Let me check up on that live chat and see what you guys are talking about up in here. Let's see. All right. Lee had a staph infection against Tony. He did have a staph against Tony. Tuivasa decision. Greg has power, but he'll get gas. Definitely could see Tai Tuivasa get a decision. Every time this fight gets broken up, I start hearing the baby elephant walk tune in my head. Hardy is overrated. I mean, he's got good hands, though. After I see Hardy use that inhaler during a fight, would always be an issue. His cardio is always going to be an issue. He doesn't have great cardio, but he's got power. Hardy will gas if the fight goes past the second round. Definitely. Tai is going to chop the legs out. That's how you beat a guy with such a boxing-heavy style like Greg. And obviously you saw that with Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. You chop the leg kicks, and they start adding up, especially the calf kick nowadays. I'm going to say Tai decision because Tai has been in the second round in a while. Dustin is out. Dustin is pulled out due to a knee injury. What the fuck? No way. Dustin pulled out. There's no chance of this. Drakkar Klose. I wonder if you're the real Drakkar Klose, but I'm now going to look at this. I do not believe it. That's not possible, man. Yeah, you messing around, man. Come on, Drakkar Klose. If you're the real Drakkar Klose, what the hell, man? No way. I'm looking this up live right now, guys. We got this guy saying the fight's off. That's not possible. I see nothing about this. Where are you finding this information? Dustin pulled out. Get paid Friday, but put the paycheck on McGregor Saturday. Solid close. You're still breathing from that push. I'm like, yo, Drakkar, your dad should have pulled you out. I'm not even joking. Check Ariel's Twitter. Bro, I fucking hope that you're not the real Drakkar Klose and you're joking. But if you are, shout out to you, man. You're a pretty solid fighter. Let's see. I'm going to Ariel Helwani. I'm seeing nothing on Helwani's Twitter, man. This guy is a troll over here. And if it's the real Drakkar Klose, you're a funny troll, man. Bruise, I'm asleep. Full body, full casket, close. Burns might switch that pit. Burns decision. You thinking Burns decision? I don't know. Conor versus Poirier. Conor versus no. This guy's trolling. I don't think this guy's being serious. Stop the cap. Yeah, Poirier is healthy, man. Stop the cap. But that was funny though, because I did look it up, man. I liked it. That was good entertainment. I appreciate Drakkar Close for that. Sprinkle Burns, Seago for sure. Oh, absolutely. Dustin Diamond Poirier KO third round. I don't know. Dustin Poirier, TKO Gilbert Burns. Conor had success in the last fight. I still got Poirier by TKO round 3. Okay. RDA stepped up. That probably would happen. I think they probably pull up Nate Diaz. Confident Dustin sub. Risky parlay. Sean, Thompson, Ty, Zalgas, Michel. That would be big risk, man. I don't know. I'm going to tail that pay-per-view. Dustin Diamond Poirier by KO third round. Mark my words. I don't know, man. It's possible for sure. But as I said, I'm riding the Mystic Mac Conor McGregor. I'm going Conor. Dustin by sub. RDA is overrated, but he was a lightweight champ. RDA is actually pretty good, man. He's well-rounded. He's a tricky fight for a lot of fighters at lightweight. Not like Islam Makhachev, I think, beats him. But you look what he did to Paul Felder. It's not easy to do. Dustin TKO. Pay-per-view. There's a Michael Key troll. Burns, Poirier, Aldana. Troll King. That was a sick troll, though. I appreciate that. That was funny. Drakkar Close is a troll. Yeah, he definitely is. Get the fuck out of here. Wonder Boy doesn't have Weidman for this camp. I know the real Drakkar Close, and that's him. My friend interviewed him, and the real Drakkar. Yeah, there's nothing there. That was just a joke. That's funny though, because can you imagine? Too many questions around Conor. I think he comes in motivated. Giga versus Edson is gonna finalize due to ESPN. Can you imagine Giga versus Edson? That would be a sick fight. I picked Poirier to win by third round TKO in the rematch, and I'm sticking with that same prediction for the trilogy. That's fair. That's fair. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I'll be going the other way. I'm going the Mystic Mac. I'm excited for it though. It's gonna be a great fight. Action throughout, I believe. So smash that like button if you guys haven't yet. It's time for me to talk a little bit about some of the betting things. I'll give you some tips. I want to go deep with the prop bets when they are all released. I don't have all of them yet. I will be checking out fightodds.io tomorrow. So either tomorrow or Wednesday, I will have the full betting breakdown of this card, the UFC 264 best bets. If it's not tomorrow, that's because I'm not home in the time that I want to do it. But if it is, you'll find out. Probably you guys will know. You'll see me post up like a scheduled stream. Probably if I do know by like 12. I'd assume if I do it, it's towards 10 p.m. Around that time, but could be the next day, and then I'll probably do it a little earlier, around 9. But we'll see, and you guys will find out. But let's talk about the bets. Talk about some potential parlays. You have to do parlays, which is risky, and in the long term can definitely drain your profits. If you want to parlay things, we can parlay things. Zhumagulov. Brad Tavares, maybe? No, but I'm gonna use Jennifer Maia. Didn't mean to click on Maia. I mean, Brad's not bad, but Zalgas versus and Maia minus 112. This is not in order of any specific, like, who's gonna be the lock just yet. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I just want to get some plays that I do think have some value here. Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley. Does he bring a lot of value, though? Not really. Irene Aldana over Kanitskaya, but that's 2 women's MMA fight. This is like setting yourself up for failure here. Wonder Boy, McGregor, if you're going wild, maybe you played something along these lines. You had in Pereira, plus 1633. But that's crazy stuff. Like, no parlay is safe, but especially on a card with a lot of competitive action like this, I feel like you want to play it smarter. Maybe you play Tai Tuivasa and Irene Aldana together, because I do think he should beat Greg Hardy. Plus 210. As a martial artist, Tai is a lot better, in my opinion, than Greg Hardy. You look at the guys Greg Hardy manhandles, they tend to be at a serious weight disadvantage. You've seen Ty's legs. He's a big boy. He's thick. And when that thick man gets on top, too, going to be a lot of trouble for Greg. Tai Tuivasa, Irene Aldana, I do think is a solid play. If you want to add in somebody else, I do think Michel Pereira should beat Niko Price, so it's plus 395. Risky, but possible 3-fight parlay. We'll go a lot deeper with the parlays in the best bets video that's coming out a little bit later on this week, so make sure you tune into that, and I will chat it up with you guys a bit longer in the live chat. I appreciate everybody tuning in, whether live or on replay. Smash the like button. We need 150 likes on this video. New to the channel, subscribe here too. I appreciate all you guys for being here. And let me catch up on that live chat. You like Duplessis 1.9 plus 190? I mean, plus 190 is good value, but I think Giles beats him. Burns Wonderboy to go the distance and Poirier money line parlay. Burns has power. Wonderboy has dangerous technique. It's risky, but it could cash. Maybe just better bet one and the other. The value's good enough. You think Edson needs a top 5 opponent at this point? I would like to give him somebody big, yeah. I would like to see him versus Max Holloway even. That would have been a crazy fight. I would like to see that. I'd be very interested. But I think he's fighting Kelvin Cater, if I'm not mistaken. Give me these tips. Edson versus Giga would be a banger. That would. He might get caught, man. Giga's dangerous. Edson versus Giga is booked. That's awesome. It's getting finalized for August 28th. Awesome. That's a great fight. 3-leg. That's a potential 3-leg. But the best bets video will go deeper. I want to see all these props. I want everything out. You got Edson 2. Can you check my parlay value? Thompson, Sean, Zalagas, Ty. They should all win. They should. But this is a crazy fight game. Gilbert Burns hits really hard. So that could be an inherent risk, but I do think it's possible. Hope TJ gets wrecked. Edson could get a decision if you were looking at the last few main events. Aldana lock, just that's on both. She's a potential lock. You can't say it's the women's MMA. We can't say lock. That was played. You're scared of the Jew. Edson versus Cater was official for UFC 262. That's funny. Mo Lester. That's hilarious. This guy's great. Giga cardio not tested enough. That's not, but I would assume it's decent enough. 3-leg parlay. Poirier, O'Malley, Tuivasa. Zalagas over 2.5. Maia Topuria Pereira parlay. Moby everywhere. Pay-per-view facts. So did Ladder drop out? Who's Ladder? Who do you mean Ladder? Giga sucks, you think? I don't think you can say he sucks. But if you don't like him, if you don't think he's going to beat Edson, I do understand that. Edson Barboza's experience in this fight game. Overall, the card's pretty good. I'm excited for the action. It's like an A card. I said A plus earlier, maybe just an A. I feel like I maybe overhyped it just seeing Mystic Mac at the top. A minus card. Should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the entire thing. I think you're going to look at fire action on most of these fights. If I had to pick the dud of the night, I'm going to pick it between these two. I think both these fights could potentially not be great. Yaozong, Amedovski, I think could be a bit raw and wild, but I do think it'll be a good fight nonetheless. Maia I should be very good. Giles Duplessis should be very good. Halter. I mean, all these fights should be pretty solid, I believe. Aldana Kunitskaya may be the exception on the pay-per-view. What's fight of the night? I think it's Niko Price, Michel Pereira potentially, but it could also be really any of these top half fights. Carlos Condit, Max Griffin fight might be off the chain. If you like grappling, halter Poirier, they might end up on the ground, and that might be chaos. Honestly, every fight on this card has some sort of value here, and I'm excited for pretty much everyone. I mean, maybe besides Amedovski, Yaozong, but I'll still enjoy the fight as it happens. I'll still enjoy watching it. Overall, solid action. I'm pumped for it. And you better smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new here too. Barboza beats Holloway in a 3-round fight. That could happen, but they don't want to do a 3-round fight. Mo is a funny guy. Seen him around. He seems like a funny guy. Alex Camp Crusher shouldn't be ranked. Cater. Yeah, Cater's nasty, man. Cater is nasty. Barboza and Giga is like the Edwards versus Bilal. Well, the thing is, no, it's not the same matchup. You got to think Giga Chikadze is a very good kickboxing background, whereas so does Barboza. You look at Bilal versus Edwards. Bilal's primary style was originally wrestling. How's he on a 4-fight win streak? Minus an eye poke. Moutinho will shock the world. I don't think so, but you think it's possible? Bet down the knockout prop because that's the value there. Or just an inside the distance prop too would have some solid value. It'd be fun, man. UFC always coming through with some good pay-per-view cards at least once a month. I'm super excited to see McGregor because, yeah, we can talk about it all we want. We got to see him when he gets inside of this octagon. Could potentially be be done. The Mystic Mac, as sad as it sounds, the Mystic Mac could officially be dead. And we might just be getting Sweet McGregor once again. And if Sweet McGregor comes to fight, he's probably going to lose. But if the real Mystic Mac comes out, the Conor McGregor that we saw on the rise up, the style, the more slick karate style, I think that is going to be what wins him the fight. Cannot wait for it. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I do. Askarov going to be a future champion? We'll see. I don't know. I've done a fairly risky parlay with betting multi. I think parlay is Omari, Condit, Amedovski, Zalgas, Tuivasa by KO, Pereira, and Maia, or a 450 payout from 10. I mean, yeah, you can make money in the short term doing that, depending, how often you're going to be betting like that. Depends, though. If you're not throwing a ton at it for $10, I mean, you can throw it at it. That's like you're risky. Like, you have fun, play those type of Hail Marys. Play a couple of the Hail Marys just for fun. Just don't go crazy. Askarov versus Brandon Moreno 2. If he wins, he's got to win against, what's his name? It's not even coming to me. Mo never means harm. He just likes having fun. He says he's harmful, pay-per-view Dizzy. You want to disrespect the wrong guy. Law skills, he's a decision specialist. Yeah, he's good, but he wins a lot of decisions. I don't think he beats Moreno this time either. Moreno looks extremely good. This is the best Brandon Moreno ever. Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. That's pretty much it for me, guys. I'm probably going to get out of here, but I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. Smash the like button if you're new. Subscribe to the channel. You guys are awesome. We got more content coming out in the next couple of days. We got that weigh-in recap at the end of the week. We got the money best bets video coming up in the next couple of days. Tomorrow, the next day. And then obviously the weigh-in recap. And then we'll do a live stream for the pay-per-view card. That should be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys tune into that. Alex Perez. Yeah, that was it. Thank you guys so much. Smash the like button. I am out of here. Have a great night, everybody.